Hey guys, all right, we're going to work through a little bit of math review before we have our Module 5 test next week. So, we don't have school Monday. Tuesday, we're going to spend some more time reviewing, so don't stress if you're not quite that comfortable yet. And then Wednesday is going to be the plan to take the test. So no stress. We're going to practice a couple of these things together. I'm outside here at my house. I got my little nuggets here with me. So if you hear some kiddos in the background, that's who it is. Emma and Carson out here playing. You want to say hi? You can just say hi. They can't see you. No, she says no. So I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to hop on Nearpod using that code. That's 2IAUS. And that's going to put you in student mode so you can work these along with me, okay? 2IAUS. And at any point we need to pause the video, that's totally fine. If you need more time to work it out, if you need more time to understand something, anything like that, definitely pause the video whenever you need to, okay? Okay, so I think I have these slides in the same order as your Nearpod, but if for some reason I'm doing a question that's not next on your Nearpod, it's in student paced mode, so you can toggle to the correct question, no problem, okay? All right, so let's look at this one together. I gave you an easy one to start out with, okay? So Max has 253 baseballs. Well, I'm probably going to need to know Max, and I know I'm going to need to know that number 253. So make sure you're working along with me. He throws, I can remember that, 164 over the fence. How many baseballs does he have left? Well, there's our big key word there. We know that left always means what? Yep, subtraction. So I'm going to write subtraction. You don't have to do that because I've got it up here for you to see. But anytime we see that word left, it's subtraction. And we also can confirm that it's probably subtraction because if he threw them over the fence, he's taking away or subtracting from his collection. He's not adding to the 253 he already had. Okay, so we know with subtraction, our bigger number always has to come first. So we're going to start with 253 minus 164. And again, if you need to pause this to take a second to get it written down, that's fine. I'm going to actually switch pen colors. I don't want you to switch pen colors because that'll take too long. But I'm going to switch pen colors just to show how we go through the steps of subtraction. So let's look over here. We always start with the ones on the top. I saw something the other day that I thought was really cool where this teacher highlighted just the ones place. So that's all you need to focus on right now. So I see 3 minus 4. I cannot take 4 away from 3. So, of course, I've got to go next door, get 10 more. So that 5 is going to become a 4 now, making this 3 a 13. I'm putting that 1 I took away from the 5 right in front of the 3 in the ones place to make it 13. All right, so I'm ready to solve my ones. I have bigger number on top. 13, take away 4, gives me 9. And then I move over to my 10s. All right, so let's look at our 10s now. I've got 4 on top, 6 on floor. So once again, I cannot solve that. If I only have 4, I cannot take 6 away from it. It's impossible. So I'm going to go next door to my hundreds where I have 2 hundreds, and I'm going to take 1 away. So I only have 1 left. And that 1 I just took away from the hundreds place, I'm going to stick it in front of the 4 in my tens place. So now I have 14, okay? So 14, take away 6. Let's count back 14. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And then my 100s place is easy for me. 1 take away 1 is, of course, 0. So how many baseballs does he have left? 89. We're going to talk about checking our subtraction with addition in just a few minutes. But we can go ahead and think of this as part whole. We know this. 253 was the whole number of baseballs he had. He threw away a part over the fence, and he was left with a part, 89. That's what our subtraction just showed us, right? So I can remember from that amazing anchor chart that Miss Rudd made us that part plus part equals whole. So we need to remember that rule. That's going to help us so much when we check our subtraction with addition here in a couple of slides, okay? All right, so we're done with that one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Okay, so again, I think I'm going in the right order, but if I'm not a big deal. Just hit your arrow until you find this question. All right, so a student is asked to find the sum of 544. Take that out there. Stop, Carson. 544 plus 66. Sum, so we know that's adding. I see that key word there, and I see we're adding here. Which expression, ooh, that fancy pants word. Which expression, that's just which of these four choices, can the student use to find the answer? Okay, so they're not even actually asking us to solve this problem. Remember, these are the tricky ones that use the big fancy words, but really all they want us to do is see how many hundreds, what's the value, how many tens, what's the value, and how many ones, what's the value. Let's start with our bigger number first, just to get that one out of the way. So I've got 544. Okay, so what is the value of 500s? 500's value is, of course, 500, right? All right, what's the value of 4 tens? If I count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, easy peasy. The value of 4 ones is just 4. You can think of it like expanded form. Remember that from our robot up front? We've got 500, 40, and 4 for the number 544. Now let's go to our second number. It's okay. Okay. All right, let's go to the next number, 66. All right, 66. Let's look at that. So 66 has nothing in the hundreds place, so I'm going to start just with my tens. What's the value of 6 tens? Well, I know 4 tens was 40, so 6 tens is 60. And then left are my 6 ones. The value of 6 ones is just 6, right? So now all I've got to do is just add all these together and find what matches A, B, C, or D. So let's start with the hundreds, okay? So let's start with the hundreds. 500 was what I got in the first number. No hundreds over here. Oh, but look over here, guys. What do you notice about A, B, C, and D? I noticed that all 4 of them have 600. Okay, so that's something we're going to have to remember, okay? But I noticed no hundreds in 66, so I'm going to start with just 500 down here. All right? Plus, let's look at our tens now. My tens here was 40. My tens here was 60. Well, I know 6 and 4 are partners to 10. So if 6 plus 4 makes 10, 60 plus 40 makes what? 100. All right, and last, oh, look at that, partners to 10 again. I've got this 6 and this 4. 6 ones plus 4 ones gives me 10. All right, so this is where it gets really interesting, guys. Again, we notice, because we're really good mathematicians, we notice that all 4 of these choices begin with 600. So I only got 500 when I added up my hundreds here. So something's going to have to be added together to get my hundreds to 600. So let's look here. I'm going to do a little bit of erasing just to give us some room. There's some noisy backyard birds today. Oh, cool. Okay, so I got 500 when I added up my hundreds. I got 100 when I added up my tens. And I got 10 when I added up my ones. So I already see some way that I could get to 600. Do y'all see how I could get to 600? What 2 things could I add together to get me to 600? Yup. 500 plus 100. 500 plus 100 gets us to 600. Plus, can't forget about old 10 out here from our ones, okay? So now, do I see an answer that matches 600 plus 10 over here? Well, let's look at A. We're going to do what good mathematicians do and good readers do. Read all 4 choices. So A, 600 plus 10 plus 10. I never got that as any of my answers. I think they're trying to trick us by adding the 4 here and the 6 here to get a 10, but that's not right. Oh, look at B. B seems to match what we got over here when we combined our tens and hundreds. So we're going to keep that as a maybe. And C, let's look at C. 600 plus 100 plus 10. That was really close to what I got down here. Except remember, my value of my hundreds was 500, not 600. So I can't keep that one. And then if I kept D, that would be leaving out... that D is just not right, is it? It's got 600 at the front, and 600 plus 10 is what we got, like B, not 600 plus 100. So what is the correct answer? B. Good job. And I think you're just going to press submit, yes, to confirm at the very end. So let's go ahead and get ready now for our next problem. All right, let's keep going. So we're looking at this one for how we can add. How can 100 be added to the number 417? I'm going to make the number 417 nice and big down here, so it's easier for me to work with the different place values. And I know this is my ones, this is my tens, this is my hundreds. So I'm adding 100. If it's asking me to add 100, it only makes sense that I'm going to add it to the hundreds place, right? So, my 7 ones is going to stay the same. My 110 is going to stay the same. But if I add 100, I'm going to be adding 100 to the 400s I already have, making it 500, right? So, I added that 100 to the 4 in the hundreds place. Okay, let's look at our 3 choices. A, add 100 to the 700s and 417. Look at that 7. Is that 7 in the hundreds place? No, the 7's in the ones place. That's not a good choice. Slash it and trash it. What about B? Add 100 to the 100 and 417. Okay, now here's the 1. So in this problem, it was talking about the 7. And this one, it's talking about the ones. Is my 1 in the hundreds place? No, my 1 is in the tens place. I wouldn't add 100 to the tens place. That doesn't make sense. So B, slash it and trash it. All right, last choice. Hope it's right. Add 100 to the 400s and 417. All right, yep, the 4 is in the hundreds place. That matches what I did down here. I added 100 to the 400s to get 517. So there you go. There's our correct answer. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, if you remember, we did one like this at some point in the past week, and they're tricky. They're just tricky because they have a lot of words, and they have this weird, funky little symbol in here. Okay, so let's start pulling apart, taking out information from this word problem that we need. We don't need all this. It's a bunch of words. We only need the numbers and important information, all right? A group of students bake 45 cakes for a bake sale. There are 12 cakes left at the end of the bake sale. Which number sentence could be used to find the number of cookies, I think that's supposed to say cakes, sold? Okay, so I'm going to write cakes. Oops, you don't have to do that. All right, so let's think about this. Left. Whenever we hear that word left, we know we subtract, right? We subtract. However, that's not what they're really asking for us to find this one. Let's talk about this in terms of part, whole. All right, so what was the whole or total number of cakes the students baked at the bake sale? 45. Remember, my whole number is always going to be the bigger number. Okay, how many cakes did they have left over at the end? Well, that's the other number they gave us, which is 12. Okay, now this is the part that they're sort of asking us to solve for, which was how many cookies did they sell? So I've got, they gave me this little triangle symbol here. So I started with 45. That was my whole number of cakes. I sold this part. This is the part I do not know. I do not know the part that was sold. And then I know this part that was left over. Now, we have practiced all year that if we don't know a part, we have a missing part, we have to subtract. We would solve this normally in a regular old day 45 minus 12, right? 45 minus 12. But if you look over here, the two subtraction problems, which are C and D, they both have this part here, the triangle, as the first number. Now, I know from what I know about part, whole, that if I were setting this up as subtraction, my whole would have to be first. It would have to be 45 minus 12 or 45 minus this unknown number. So I already know that C and D are wrong because they don't have the number 45, the whole, in the front. So just like that, I've eliminated two silly choices and I have two that are left. I know C and D are wrong, again, because the whole number, 45, is not first. If I were subtracting, it would have to be 45 minus 12 equals triangle, or 45 minus triangle equals 12. Because what do we know? Subtraction is not the worst. The bigger number, which is 45, always comes first. These two subtraction options did not have the bigger number first. So I know they're wrong. So let's look at A and B. All right. Remember from Miss Rudd's amazing anchor chart she made us, part plus part equals whole. Okay? So I know that my whole, now that these two are left as addition options, my whole has to be the answer. My whole has to be the sum. Part plus part equals whole. So let's look at A. Let's look at A. A says 45 plus triangle equals 12. Y'all, does that even make any sense? 45 plus more equals a number that's less than 45? I can't do whole plus part to get a part. That doesn't fit. So I know A is wrong. So that leaves me with B. B says 12. Well, I know that's a part. Plus triangle. I know that's a part. Equals 45. That's my whole. So B is the only option that matches my part, whole chart that I easily made using information from this story. Okay? So that's how we're going to go about doing that one. And let's get ready for our next one. Okay, I hope y'all are pausing this whenever you want. I know sometimes I get to talking kind of fast. So if you need to practice it again or listen to it again, you can always go back and do that. You're going to have a page at the end that you practice by yourself on Seesaw, and I'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, this is a Part A, Part B math problem. You know what we say about Part A, Part B? Like peanut butter and jelly, macaroni and cheese, BFF. They always go together. So it's really important that we focus on Part A and get Part A correct. Because if we don't get Part A correct, guys, there's no way we can get Part B correct. Because we have to get information from Part A to answer Part B. Okay, here we go. Mark has 15 more comic books than Sarah. Sarah has 57 comic books. How many comic books does Mark have? Okay, so let's set up our information. Let's get organized with our data. We know for sure that Sarah has 57 comic books. That's for sure. There's no arguing that. It literally says Sarah has 57 comic books. So now let's go to Mark. Mark has 15 more than Sarah. So Mark has just as many as Sarah, 57, except he has 15 more. If you go look over, glance over at that chart real quick, glance over where we have our math words. Is more under plus or minus? Okay, it's plus, right? So I'm going to put a plus sign here. So Mark has that many plus 15 more. So how do I figure out how many Mark has? That's my question. How many comic books does Mark have? So I know I can take Sarah's 57 and Mark's 15, and it said more, so I'm going to add them. So let's go ahead and add that together. I'll give you just a second to get that set up if you haven't yet. Okay, so we start with our ones. 7 plus 5. 7, 5 more, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, I can't write 12 under there because it's more than 9 ones. So the ones go with the ones. The 10s go with the 10s. Good. Don't forget that little guy over there. Don't forget to move that one over. Don't leave him out. So let's add our 10 straight down. I've got a 1, a 5, and a 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So how many comic books does Mark have? Mark has 72. So now I know Mark 72. Sarah has 57. Mark has 72. And I know that because this is a part A, part B question, that I'm going to have to use Mark's number in part B. Okay, let's go down. Adam, oh, we got a new friend. Adam has 80 comic books. Oh, we haven't seen these words in a while. How many more? How many more comic books does Mark need to have the same as Adam? Let's get organized. Adam has 80. I know that Adam has 80 because it literally says Adam has 80. And I remember from my part A question up there that old Mark has 72. I am so excited to see how many more again because you guys are so good at using the words how many more. So let's say it together. How many more? Subtraction. Okay? So I know from the problems earlier, subtraction is not the worst. The bigger number, 80, always comes first. So 80, how many more? Subtract minus 72. Mark's number, 80 minus 72. All right, let's get to work. So I always start with the ones on the top. It is asking you guys 0 minus 2, not 2 minus 0. If you thought about putting the number 2 down there, I'm going to reach through this screen and get you. It is not 2 minus 0. It's 0 minus 2. If I have 0, I cannot take away 2. So I got to go next door. So my 8 becomes a 7, making this 0 now a 10. I'm just sticking that 1 in front of the 0. Okay? Got this. Easy peasy. 10 take away 2 is 8. 7 take away 7 is 0. So how many more does he need? 8. We nailed that. All right, good job, guys. Let's get ready. We are almost done. We have 2 problems left. Okay, I saved the best for last because this is going to be what's on part of your page that I get you to do all by yourself next. Okay, let's get it. Let's start with subtracting 305 minus 53, okay? 305 minus 53. I'm actually going to use these lines to kind of help me a little bit. I'm going to do my bigger number, 305. Of course, if I write the numbers wrong, I'm going to get the problem wrong. And if I don't put them in the right order, lined up correctly, I'm definitely going to get them wrong. Okay? And I know some of you like to put that little 0 there in the hundreds place so you don't get confused with 2-digit numbers. Okay? All right. Get that set up. And let's get to solving. All right. I always start with my ones on the top. 5 take away 3. So if I have 5, can I take away 3? Absolutely. 5 take away 3 leaves me with 2. Now's where it gets a little tricky in my tens place. If I have 0, can I take away 5? 0, take away 5. Can't do it. I have 0. I can't give you 5. I have none. So let's go next door. That 3 is going to come a 2. And the 1 I just took from the 3, I'm going to put in front of that 0 to make it 10. Nice. 10 minus 5. We know that one. It's just 5. And then the hundreds place, not too bad. 2 minus 0 is 2. 252. Okay, now let's think about this as part, whole. What was my whole number, the bigger number I started with? I started with 305. That was my whole number I started with. Okay, and then, again, it doesn't matter which part we put where. But I know the other part from my problem was 53. That's the part I took away. And then the part I was left with is here, 252. Okay, 252. So how do I check this with addition? We've been talking about this for the past 20 minutes, guys. Part plus part equals whole. Right? So I'm going to add the 2 parts together to see if I get my whole. That's how I check with addition, right? Okay, so let's start with a part. My part I had left was 252 plus my part that they gave me in the original subtraction problem was 53. So let's add those up and see if I get my whole, which was 305. Okay, start with the ones. 2 plus 3 is 5. Move to the tens. 5 plus 5 is 10. I'm going to write that in there. The ones go with the ones. I'm going to move that over. 1 plus 2 is 3. Does it match? Sure does. 252, that's this part, plus 53, this part, equals 305, my whole. I checked my subtraction with addition. I know I got my subtraction problem right because my addition added up. We're going to do one more like this together, guys, and super duper pay attention because you're going to have some on your page you do by yourself in a minute. All right, last one. Let's do this. All right, so let's start with just regular old subtraction. 4, 0, 6, minus 1, 8, 7. 4, 0, 6, minus 1, 8, 7. Okay, so I always start with my ones on the top. So top to bottom, 6 minus 7. I can't do that. If I only have 6, I cannot take away 7. So I've got to go next door. But what's my problem next door? There's nothing there. So I've got to go all the way to the hundreds place. Make that into a 3. And the 1 I just took from there, I'm going to stick in front of my 10, 0 to make it a 10. Okay, are you with me still? All I did was go to my hundreds place, take 1 from there, and go ahead and put it in front of my 10s. So now I have the number 10. I'm going to make it a different color so it's a little bit easier for you to see. Okay, so now that's a 10 because I took 1 from the 4, made it a 3, and made that a 10. Now I'm going to take from that 10, just like I would regular. I'm going to take from that 10 to make it a 9 because I know if I take 1 away from 10, that makes it a 9. 10 minus 1 is 9. And the 1 I took away, I'm going to put right there in front of my 6 to now make it a 16. Okay? All right, here we go. So 16, take away 7. I know that is not a super easy problem that some of us just know how to answer, right? So what do I always tell you? Draw a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and we can take away 7 of them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, I do remember that 9 plus 7 does give me 16. Hey, we just use addition. All right, let's go on to my tens place. If I have 9 in the tens place, can I take away 8? Sure can. 9 minus 8 equals 1. Emma, go get her, please. Go get her, please. All right, and let's move on to my hundreds. 3 take away 1 is 2. All right, let's go ahead and set this up as part, whole. All right, part, whole. Well, I know my whole number is always my bigger number that they gave me. So that would be 406. 406 is my whole. And then the part that they gave me from my subtraction problem originally was 187. That's the part I took away. And then the part that I had left here was 219. Okay, and we remember that part plus part equals whole. So let's set this up. 187 part that I got from right here plus 219 another part that I got from right here should equal a whole of 406 if I did it right. So let's go over here and let's add up 7 plus 9. We just talked about that. 7 plus 9 gave us 16. The ones go with the ones. The tens go with the tens. I'm going to stick it like right in here so it doesn't get lost. 8 plus 1 gives me 10. And again, drop the 0. Move the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Do my wholes match? Yep. 406. 406. So that's how we check our subtraction with our addition. Okay, I'm going to pull up really quickly your last page that you're going to be doing by yourself and just talk you through it real quick. Y'all got this, no problem. So you've got 2 problems. This is on Seesaw, okay? You've got 2 problems just like the 2 we just did, where you're going to subtract right here and then check it with your addition right here. I highly recommend making that part whole chart. What's he doing that? All right, same thing here. Subtract on this one and then check with addition on this one. All right, and last one's just practicing addition. I'm making sure you have not forgotten how to add through all of this, okay? So solve here, in here, hit the green check mark, and you will be done. I miss you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you guys when I get back on Tuesday. All right, you got this. Work hard. Do your best.